the most valuable insight from yesterday's panel discussion was that I got to realize that I'm not the only person that doesn't really understand how risk management works in the GA. What I mean by that is that I think everybody's battling to understand just how incidents are reported and what incidents do occur in general aviation. You get reports that talk about aviation as such, which includes commercial and GA. But GA is different. It doesn't have the same issues as commercial aviation. For example, the EBA report will say that the most common incident in commercial aviation or in aviation is baggage handling on the ground, where in fact we know that from our experience that in GA it's probably pushbacks and towing. So the insight for me was that we shared those experiences. There was operators that gave their input in terms of how they saw a ground handler and how the ground handler should assess the risk on behalf of the operator. And of course, there was someone there from a technology point of view, which was interesting because I think the future of managing risk going forward will lie in the hands of technology. Taking the lead is something that we discussed. And the issue with taking the lead is that I don't know of any operators, or certainly very few, and fixed-based operators, that are willing to share their information in terms of the incidents that they see and the hazards that they report. Because that's really a competitive advantage, and you don't want to disclose incidents that you have. So I think the lead must be taken by an authority, a body like EBAA or NBAA. And they should take the lead in making sure that they create a system, an anonymous system, whereby willingly fixed-based operators and aviation operators actually provide information so that we can start getting stats in terms of what are the major incidents, and we start developing our best practices for the industry. I agreed to take part because, first of all, I was asked by a very good friend of mine, but more importantly, I think that it gave me an opportunity to interact with people in the industry from different sectors of the industry and try and understand how they saw the issue of managing risk, whether it's in the air or on the ground. And in particular, I was interested in finding out what the operator saw in the fixed-based operations and how they wanted to see a fixed-based operator provide them with input before the flight and after the flight. The value of the session like the one we had yesterday is that you get to understand what the thinking is of different people around the world, what the thinking is of different sectors of the aviation industry, and more in particular, you get to understand what general aviation thinks about the topic we're talking about, which is managing the risk. So to me, that interaction with different people from different continents and different sectors of the industry is important. And of course, you meet people, and meeting people is part of our business.